This is not the church of Joseph Smith.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. Okay. Update. The news is saying that we're going to have a Pearl Harbor moment, is what they're calling it, this week. Passover. This week is Passover. If you're not Jewish, you need to understand the significance of Passover, because Moses, when confronting Pharaoh for the kingdom, it required a coronavirus. That's the death of the firstborn. The death of the firstborn is symbolic, because it didn't target just the firstborn children and the firstborn of animals. It was symbolic, because what was practiced anciently was that in families, the firstborn son is to become the successor to the tribe, to the family, and so he was given the birthright and the blessing as the firstborn son. And so when the Bible talks about the death of the firstborn, not just of Pharaoh, but of all of Egypt, that's talking about a complete collapse of the government and the religion of Egypt, because the Pharaoh was a theocrat, both a government leader and a religious leader, the King of Kings, great high priest. That's not just for Jesus, that's not just for Melchizedek, whom Abraham paid tribute to, not tithes, tribute. That's a mistranslation, a misunderstanding of the concept of what was going on there, because Abraham conquered the king who was holding Lot hostage, and so as was his right as conquering the king, Melchizedek, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, great high priest, the ruler of all, granted Abraham the king's bounty, but required tribute for the kingdom. And that's what the tithe really was. But Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, which was supposed to be Esau, but Jacob, meaning usurper, usurped Esau's birthright blessing. And so that's the background. And so when Creeping Death, Metallica, flows over, kills the firstborn, it's talking about succession of government and religion destroyed. And in Egypt, when a pharaoh does not have a son to pass on succession, that's when a new dynasty occurs, as some new family unit begins. And so like the 18th dynasty turned into the 19th dynasty with the death of Tutankhamun and King Tut, if you're going, what? And so that was their coronavirus, literally, because it destroyed the crown of Egypt, the kingdom of Egypt. Thus, corona, crown, virus. And so that's what we're looking at here. Reports are coming out. Boris Johnson is in intensive care now. So the UK is being directly affected by coronavirus, crown virus, as their crown king, Boris Johnson, even though he's just a prime minister position, and not the queen herself, but he's the one who leads. he's the one who won the election and was able to do the Brexit thing. So that leader is on his way out. And so what we're going to witness this week for the beginning of Passover, when the coronavirus swept through Egypt, destroying the kingdom, destroying succession, they're calling it a Pearl Harbor moment, to be anticipated, expected. They're also reporting that we have gazillion deaths beyond who have been tested. Because remember, we're struggling to get tests to test people. Why? Because our imperious leader is refusing to do anything about this. Holding back stuff, holding back test kits, holding back medical equipment, holding back everything, calling it a hoax in the beginning. And so, yeah, we're looking at a huge, pivotal moment. Hinge Point, if you remember, conference over the weekend, LDS conference. And so, yeah, this is disturbing in the sense that Nelson is deceiving Mormons. We already know him by his fruits, which are corrupt. We know him as a bad guy. Are you serious? You don't know? And that's the whole point. Mormons are under this impression that because we have a true and living prophet on the earth today, and he said we're holding a fast on Friday, that everything will be fine, everything will be all right. Just like Trump saying it's a hoax, and people going, oh, okay, I guess everything's fine. We don't need to protect ourselves. And Nelson's a medical doctor. Trump is nobody. He's a failed businessman. And so to have a medical doctor deceive us like somebody who's completely ignorant on the subject, that's even more despicable and evil. Because evil isn't enough. There needs to be another word to replace it. Diabolical. And when you hear about Nelson giving medical supplies to China back in January, and he's done nothing for America, for Utah, for Mormons, as he's also closed the storehouse at a time when we need to go shopping, because guess what? They're telling us we can't go shopping this week because of the bombshell that's coming. They're telling us not to go shopping this week. So that kind of sucks for me. But we're looking at a complete, utter mass death this week for Passover. And it's almost as if somebody knew the timing of all this to know when to make it the worst for Passover. And yet, when I talked to my neighbor to update him, to try to tell him that we're not supposed to go grocery shopping this week, I didn't even get to tell him because I had to walk away from him. He kept repeating over and over again, I trust the prophet, I trust the prophet, I trust the prophet. He couldn't comprehend people are going to die this week, a mass death this week, as people are dying who haven't even been tested already. We don't know the actual numbers because they're much higher than they're being reported. And he's saying, oh, well, the fast on Friday, after it's all said and done this week, will cure everybody. It'll solve the problem because he trusts the prophet. So yeah, I had to walk away. There was no talking to him in that condition. He did not understand the severity of what's going on. He's expecting a miracle. Was there a miracle in Egypt? Nope. There was death and destruction. Was there a miracle in Sodom? Nope. There was death and destruction. And Mormons, you know this. The Book of Mormon, right at the beginning, Lehi gets a dream. Jerusalem is going to be destroyed. The Babylonians are coming back. The first year of the reign of Zedekiah, the Babylonians came, conquered, put Zedekiah on the throne. Then they came back 11 years later. And yet that first year, Lehi already knows that Jerusalem's going to be destroyed. But he's at the top of the Red Sea now. Well, he has to flee first to get to the top of the Red Sea. So he's in Jerusalem. He's saying the people are going to kill you if you keep warning them, because you still have another 11 years before it's going to happen. But that's the story. And his sons are split as to who to believe. Laman, the birthright blessing son, the firstborn, doesn't believe it. He thinks his dad is a foolish man, and he wants his treasure back, because that treasure belongs to him. He's the inheritance of that treasure. And here dad is taking them away from everything, and they have to live in tents. Wah. But I mean, that's Mormons. They're acting like laymen, refusing to accept that death and destruction is coming. And it's not going to be 11 years. We're talking this week. Passover. You know, this is it. And I hope you guys are safe, but you know, what's Russ going to do when everybody dies? How is he going to twist it to say that the prophet is the true prophet? How is he going to justify the prophet abandoning us with a second failed fast? Because remember, he had one already, and that failed. So now he's doing another one. And he's doing it after the big bombshell, on the day when Jesus is recorded as having died, Good Friday. So for Good Friday, when Jesus died, as Americans are expected to die in mass, he then wants to hold a fast as a cure, a magic, mystical cure that failed the first time around. And Mormons just keep chanting, I trust in the prophet, I trust in the prophet, I trust in the prophet. You're fired. I still trust in the prophet. Stay at home. I still trust in the prophet. Don't go to the stores. Still trust in the prophet. I mean, Nelson can tell everybody, drink this Kool-Aid, and Mormons would drink it. If you don't know, is it that Jones guy that went down to South America and created Jonestown? What's his first name? Jonestown. Jim Jones, who killed the congressman who came down to check on things to see what was going on and killed the reporter because they found out what was going on. And then he gave everybody the Kool-Aid with poison. Unbelievable. So that's the latest update. So yeah, I'm not able to get to the video on Jesus' birthday. I'm not able to finish the comment replies. I'm not going to get to the new one that I figured out on the bus. The foundation, or to judge, the standard for judging the prophet is by the founding prophet Joseph Smith and the founding scriptures of Joseph Smith, the Book of Mormon specifically. So I'm not going to be able to get to that one. I'm not going to get to comparing the two apostasies, Joseph's and Jesus's, and I'm not going to get to the Mark's opioid deception, which mind-numbing addiction. So, sorry about that, guys, but it's the end of the world.